I'm Sheila Leeson, and I firmly believe that I'm the granddaughter of Arthur Wharton.
Right, now then, how did you first find out about Arthur Wharton in your life, Sheila?
I found out when I read a letter in the Advertiser from Phil Vasili asking if anyone knew an Emma Lister who had 3 children, and I replied to that letter.
And why did you reply?
Because I'd found some old photographs belonging to my mother when she died, and I just, when I really looked through them, my son-in-law found out that he'd been an athlete, and I just wanted to know more about him. And
was there a clue as to why he thought he was an athlete at all?
Yes, there was the photograph of him winning the 3A's Championship Cup 2 years in succession.
That was in...
There was a photograph of Arthur with the cup.
In 1886, I think, in London, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
So really, I suppose the size of the cup made you think this was something quite important.
Well, it was important because at that time they weren't running much faster. The same distance. And I thought, well, how marvellous for this person to have run as fast as that.
So that's how you found out about Arthur, and you answered the letter that Phil Vasili wrote. But how did you find out about where he was buried?
That again was through my son-in-law. He went to Edlington. We knew that Arthur had lived at Edlington when he died, and he went to Edlington Cemetery and he asked the caretaker. Well, he was wandering around the cemetery looking, and the caretaker was a bit suspicious, and he asked him if he was looking for Arthur Wharton, and he found the grave in the records.
Okay, and what did? Can you remember what he said to the caretaker?
Well, he said to the caretaker he was looking for the fastest man in the world, and the caretaker said, "Well, I'm sorry, son, we haven't got Flash Gordon here, buried here." So
that's how you were able to identify this spot. Why was there no grave then, Sheila? At the time, why was it unmarked?
Because he'd obviously died penniless, and it was in the paupers section of the cemetery.
Oh, I see. So that's something that the
caretaker was able to find exactly the spot. Yes. Yeah.
And I believe that as time went on, right, your research led you to believe that actually Arthur wasn't your great uncle after all. It was something else, wasn't it? Or you're convinced he is?
Yes, because as far as I knew, his wife, my Aunt Emma, my grandmother's sister, she didn't have any children, but my grandmother had 3 children. But she'd also been banished from the family because...
You never knew why?
We never knew why.
It was a bit of a secret, was it?
And my mother, it was a secret my mother took with her to the grave.
Right. So that's why you think that...
That's why I think that my mother and her sister Minnie and her brother Ben were the 3 children
of Arthur. So what did it feel like then when you realised that you were his actual granddaughter, the man who'd been the fastest man in the world?
Well, I just thought, well, if this is true, then it's marvellous, because to have somebody who's, to be related to someone who's achieved so much in his life, it was brilliant.
And I know quite recently, Sheila, you were the guest of the FA at a game, an international match between England and Ghana at Wembley. What was that like?
That was brilliant. It was amazing. And it was just something I'd never dreamed would happen. It was the first time I'd been to Wembley, and to see, obviously I was supporting the Ghanaians, and I just managed to wish a few of them luck as they were going onto the pitch.
Yes, because you were on the side of the pitch, weren't you?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And to be with I'd met Brendan Batson obviously before at Ferd and
Cyril Regis as well.
And Cyril Regis and
Sir Trevor Brooking.
And Sir Trevor Brooking. I hadn't met him before, so it was good.